All right. It's Geographically Challenged episode. I think it's 59. I hope it's 59. Son. I can't really remember what the last one was. Do you remember?
Is it not 69?
Nacho. No, it's not 69. All right. So as you can see, we're at DreamHack. Or maybe you couldn't see that because we were in a hotel room. But we are at DreamHack. And it's day one. Mac's already a little bit inebriated.
Me?
Yep.
Was it my first? What do you mean? We on the CCs, baby.
Yeah, sponsored by CCs. We're not, but we could be.
Yeah.
Yep. Or negative 196. Suntory.
That tastes like...
Yep.
That tastes like medicine. Or am I wrong?
There wasn't a lemon one, and the only other option was maybe a peach, or it was grapefruit.
Like, it's not bad.
But we went for it.
It's not bad, you know what I mean?
You
Like,
can just really taste the alcohol, basically.
have you ever had that cold and
It's
flu
the same
medicine?
as grape soju, bro. Like,
Yeah,
just it tastes a bit
same
like
kind
medicine.
of.
About that, yeah.
If you like that kind of medicine, you'll like this kind of drink. Double grape 196. There you go. How are we doing, guys? This is like, okay, so for anyone that's watching this and like, why aren't these guys just jumping in like normal? Because we did an episode like 5 days ago, there's not that much to talk about, and we don't do these like live episodes that often. We've got the boys around, you know, just have a bit of a chat, see what happens. Komodo's there, first time on Geographically Challenged.
Greetings.
Conky's there, second time.
What's up?
It's your second time?
Yeah, second time now, yeah.
Mac's been here a few times.
Yeah,
Philly's here every
regular.
fucking time, so he's just having some chowing down on some
Let him
cuisine.
eat his dinner.
Nachos.
Yeah, so hopefully it goes well. Yeah, we just take a bit easy and see how things are going. But what do you guys want to talk about?
I just want a quick ASMR real quick. Wait, give me this crunch.
Oh, I heard that.
That was good. Good. That's what I'm here for.
So, you know, you guys can let us know if you like this kind of content or if you like the more structured kind of content. But we'll just try something different today. We've got a few things to talk about. I mean, you can see, I don't know if maybe it's in the shop, maybe it's not in the shop. Also, the other thing, that's the one thing I should mention. Recording this on my phone. New phone, first time. So if the video cuts out for some reason, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But if it works, you'll be none the wiser, except for the fact that I said that this is what was happening. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're watching ESL Pro League.
Can you believe it? In the year 2024, you can do all of this on your phone device. You don't even need the cameras and that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, mate.
What about we talk about Mongolz?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Mongolian fans that watch Geographically
Hey, but we
Challenged.
talk about what everyone's been up to first. Fuck the
All right,
Mongols.
sure.
Look,
Okay.
they've already
Whoa,
had
hang
their
on.
moment.
No, wait.
Hey, Mac, listen.
Don't say
all
fuck
the
the
viewers are
Mongols.
Mongolian.
They did the great... I don't care that they won. They did the greatest tweet and put G2 into the ground, and we're currently watching G2 get absolutely
Put in the ground
annihilated by
again.
M80 as well.
They just
So
got 13-2'd in the first
that
match.
tweet has ruined them.
Yes, it has. All right, what do you want to talk about? What have you been up to then, Max?
I've been watching you overseas. I just want
Okay.
to put my 2 cents in. You did
Sure.
a great job on the desk for the first time
Thank
as a
you.
dedicated analyst.
I appreciate that. I was fucking nervous. I was fucking scared.
Yep.
It was terrifying.
You crushed it, mate.
Terrifying experience. I'm not going to say I don't ever want to be on the desk again because it was fine, but
It's not your thing.
I felt out of my depth the whole time.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome hard.
It was imposter syndrome for sure.
Yeah, I've been going at it from the wrong angle. I've been trying to do the analysis desk and work as a desk analyst to try to get jobs as a desk analyst. But apparently, if you do the opposite, you get a job as a
If
desk
you work as a
analyst.
play-by-play
Just
caster,
ask
you might
these-
have a better
ask
chance.
Both of these
You
guys.
can have it back. I mean, I'll Comcast. Like,
It does feel good to be in an arena again.
Yeah.
Can't see the crowd, but you can hear them, and it's almost as good.
That's Challenger Melbourne you're talking about. We've
Yes.
gone just from one
we
topic
are
to the
in
next.
Melbourne. Did you mention we're in Melbourne?
did, yeah.
They could see if this works. If this doesn't work, they can't see.
Well, they can see a hotel room. We could be anywhere.
But they couldn't see if
Really?
it doesn't work. You put this thought in my mind that your phone's just going to hit like a 20-minute cap of video.
It
and not
might.
work.
I've never done this before. It
Yeah.
might literally be 5 minutes and then the video
Audio
cuts out
only
and
for the rest of it, yeah.
it'll just be a photo of us for the rest of the time once I put that in. By the way, we do have to remember to take a photo. I always forget to take a photo, but I don't have the ability to edit a thumbnail while I'm on the go.
For the fun nail.
Yeah, so I'll just use that as a photo and then no one will watch because they'll be like, who the fuck are these guys? But that's fine. They only click on the pictures of the Mongolian players.
It's all right. Mongolz won, so just use a picture of one of them.
Well, what I'm
going to
do is I'm going to put a real clickbait title, something about the Mongols are the best team in the world or
Photo
something.
of Techno or
And
something
the
like
first mention of Mongols would be saying, fuck the Mongols.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Don't say fuck the Mongols because then there goes all my viewers.
And you'll see the average view time of this podcast will be 1 minute and 30 seconds to the exact point.
that.
Say that.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out as well to my 7 new Mongolian fans from
Yeah.
last night after the win.
There
So
you go.
we'll get to that, I'm sure.
All you guys can follow Conky. He's a big Mongolz
No, I suck.
fan.
Don't worry. Don't follow me. Follow Elfishguy because he does the show. But
Yep.
mate, it's good to be back. I
Yep.
think is probably the best summary of it all.
It's
You know,
nice.
we've been split up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Was it IM Sydney or PAX or
Sydney
fucking-
we would have been. Well,
Yeah, Sydney was
Komodo
probably
wasn't
the
at
last-
Sydney, but
Yeah. For most of us, like Sydney, probably the last CS event that we've all done together. So you know, it's kind of
6 months
for us
ago.
boys. It's like 6 months between drinks. We're all sort of spread from here and there.
That's
so.
the hardest thing. Like when I
Yeah.
went to Chengdu, and like don't get me wrong, it's really cool hanging out with everyone at Chengdu. But like you go on your own basically as an Australian, and I'm sure you sort of relate in a way back. Like you do the whole travel thing on your own when you go to EPL or when you went to Romania, and it's like it's just a lonely experience a little bit, But it's nice to be here in Melbourne with everybody and just chilling and having a good time and stuff like that.
I'm just going to touch on that quickly. The first time I actually traveled solo ever
Yeah.
was the Thailand gig.
Yeah.
Because before that, either you or someone was with me
Yeah.
every time, and I never really had to think about what to do.
I
'cause
remember
you
I
guys
was
are
there
so
for your first one.
responsible.
Yeah, I was there
You're
for the
always
first
so
one.
responsible. So you're like, oh, we just got to be here at this time. And I'm like, oh, cool. I don't have
Yeah.
to think about it. And then when I was solo, I was like, oh no. Like,
Have I missed my
oh,
flight?
have I missed my flight? What time is it?
That's the craziest thing as well, because we all went to that Thailand thing, like 3 of us from 3 different parts of Australia, all coming to the same place, different flights and shit, who's getting in when and stuff.
And it's like we met in a completely different country
Yeah.
and then went from there.
Yeah.
So it's like, and we arrived pretty much at the same time, but we left like 6 hours apart.
Yeah, exactly right. It's always a wild experience, but yeah, no, it's awesome to be back with everyone, and the Aussie crowd always provides no matter what kind of,
Yeah.
even if it's slop, if it's good, they're always loud. So
Yeah, well, hopefully Rooster will do well tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I guess by the time this video is out, I think Rooster will actually be playing their game as this airs, if I can get around to editing it, which I may not potentially.
Just don't.
Yeah,
Just
but
put it up.
well, I mean, you're right, but I guess I could do that. Yeah, but the thing is, I turned that on and I haven't turned that on, so I'm gonna have to cut it somewhere.
Scuffed edition.
Yeah,
Just
it's
let
What
it
phone
out.
did you get?
that's a S24 Plus.
You can probably like just get the little crop slider and slide it up to
Possibly,
the start.
you might be right.
Yeah.
Slide up to the clapper.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, I'll figure it out. I guess I'll probably just quickly whip it up tonight, and hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully it'll be up by tomorrow. But either way, look, let's get into it. Mongolz at ESL Pro League. Pretty fucking good, eh? Like
Yeah,
that was surprise. I say surprisingly good. I am genuinely impressed this time around. Like, I was happy with what they did at the major. I thought that they played really well there, and I was obviously hopeful that they would make it through into the elimination stage.
yeah,
And they did do that, and that was fantastic. And I was like, okay, that was part of my expectations, I
third
suppose,
spot for Oceania as well,
for Asia.
APAC in
You know,
general,
and that's
yeah.
good. Woo! But I said last night before the game, I think I was talking to you, Pilly, and I said like, they're not going to win this game against G2. I was like, they played really well against Falcons. There's no doubt about that. But like G2's fucking G2. And the question now is like, is G2 really G2? Because again, they're losing to M80, which starts to make me go, well, is G2 just having a bit of a moment? And that does sort of take a bit of the shine maybe off of the Mongolz result. But like they beat Falcons. Falcons has some pretty fucking legit players. They beat
was popping off
G2.
too as well, so it like shut him down.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the potential other things though. Like, when G2 plays in a stadium, they're more used to it, so maybe they play a bit better. But when you got a thing like Pro League going on, where they're like facing each other with this
Sure.
frosted glass now, no crowd, still on land.
I mean,
These other teams that don't get the jitters because they don't have to play in front of a crowd, maybe they
is
play
it
better.
even that, or is it like, is Mongolz just genuinely like really fucking good?
I think they are, bro. Like they have been for a while now.
And
And
every single event, like every single
Yeah.
event, they've been steadily
Exactly.
improving, and it's been obvious. They've spent heaps of time in Europe lately.
And it's like, I know that they're good, and obviously we're some of the people who probably watch more Mongols than anybody else in the world almost, except maybe the Mongolian fans. But even then, like, we've known that they're good for a while, but I think part of me always sort of feels like when they go up against like a tier 1 team, it's like, well, they're still the underdog. They go into that Falcons game, I go, probably still have them back as maybe the underdog in this one, even though Falcons have been a bit shit, like you've got really, really good players on that team. So it's kind of hard to go past that. And then they go in the G2 game, you're like, well, it's G2, top 4 at Chengdu, top 4 at the major, like G2 should win this game. And they've got 2 back-to-back legit results, like not only in terms of BO3s at EPL, but also now in terms of just results at events, at big events, like the major into now EPL. And obviously they still have a game against Vitality, which is like, I think, maybe Monday,
Yeah.
something
It's
like that.
seeding now, isn't it? So they've
Yeah,
got groups.
they're already
but
in the
they've had
playoffs.
Groups, playoffs.
Yeah, so like that game against Vitality, that's a tough game. I think that's, again, like that'd be one where you go, well, they're underdogs. Who knows? They could win that. And then whether or not they win that, they're in playoffs and they play playoffs, and whatever they get at playoffs, it's like that's a bonus on whatever they were able to do in those first 2 matches. So, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it
Fucking
really does
196
bubble
is
up,
hitting.
doesn't it? If
Yeah.
anyone randomly burps on the podcast, apologies.
I can
It'll be
just
me.
raise the volume a little bit on
It's
that.
also when you're drinking water
But-
all day. Things
yeah.
without bubbles.
Yeah.
Hit bubbles, boom.
But like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like every time they're playing well, and like I expect them to play well at this point, but like I don't expect them to be beating tier 1 teams, and they are beating tier 1 teams. So it's like, are they now starting to get into that discussion? Because I think they were. What are they rated? Like top? Were they 18?
They were 20,
or 21 or 22?
21 or 22, just outside.
Yeah,
But they were at top 30.
but now after EPL, even with those 2 results, surely they're going inside the top 20.
That's what I said last
You would
night
think.
as well when I saw that. I was like, they have to
And-
edge in now.
So this was a conversation that we had like a couple of weeks ago or a couple of podcasts ago, where we're like, is Mongolz the best Asian CS team ever? And we came to the consensus that they are at a no. And at that time we said no. That Tyloo iteration with Bente Excurate,
Yeah. The
DD
hero
Mo
era.
and somebody was it? I think that's the roster.
Yeah, it was an attacker. No.
Well, the thing is, like they had even at that point, like they had big results at majors.
Yeah.
They had the Beijing result as well, which was part of the thing, and so there was that, and we came to the conclusion, Pilski, that it was a no at that stage. But like, I think Mongolz is on track to be
I actually still think they're like number 3.
Behind.
Personally. Yeah, behind 100 Thieves and
Oh, if you count 100
Oh,
Thieves,
100 Thieves era. Yeah.
for an Asian team, maybe I think number 2.
Is that the only top 4 that we've had? Like anything of that top 4?
no one else has got top 4 to make
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Dexter
So, like,
did, but
Yeah, here's
Not
my thing with
anything.
Mongolz. They're really good, and they're obviously like they smashed G2.
Yep.
And they beat Falcons. They shouldn't have won that game though. Like literally,
To Falcons, that
Techno
was-
bailed them out. They should have lost that game, but they still won versus Falcons. And I think Falcons are a little shaky.
Yep.
To be honest, G2 is G2 is very shaky. I feel like a lot of the top teams are very shaky, which is like an asterisk on Mongol's performance. And I know people will hate me for saying that, but I have to say, like, winning series against the best teams in a group stage is still not a deep result in a tournament.
it's true.
They need to win a deep result in a tournament.
Falcons lost a map to Tyloo.
That's true.
They did straight after. And Tyloo,
They
has
almost lost 2 maps. They
a
were
player
pretty
called
close maps.
Advent on the team.
was too close, you know?
Yeah.
Would you say then they have to do something decent against Vitality? Go far in Pro League.
I think it's less
and then,
about
and
that
then do it again.
and more about playoffs.
No, they
Yeah,
have to go deep in a tournament in general.
Yeah.
They have to go deep in a playoffs of a tournament in general to be in the conversation. They can't. It doesn't matter. They have only been competitive with good teams or smash good teams in stages of the tournament that is not like a top 4 or
Doesn't
something
matter
like
as
that.
much.
Yeah, they got to win like a quarterfinal convincingly or win a semi against a really good team, and then I'll be like, okay, they're actually in the conversation now. In terms of just like the eye test and watching them play, they might be the best because like there's
Oh,
I
easily.
don't think Tyloo ever smashed
No.
a team. I don't think 100 Thieves ever smashed a team. Like I don't remember them ever smashing like a top 4 team in the world.
It's not about. I mean,
Legit.
I guess it depends on what you're saying, but like I think just in general, the game has developed so much since those teams were playing that Mongols. If you would match them up pound for pound, like would beat those teams.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 100% in
but-
terms of skill, they're better. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that is the thing that's different with Mongols. I
Right.
don't ever remember Renegades or on LAN, Renegades or Tyloo, like, smashing a top 5 team in the
No.
world. Like, not even close. They would always struggle. Both of those teams would...
They'd be
they
like
would
tight
cuck us.
OT results.
They would cuck us
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
It would be like... And, like, they would smash a half or something, and then they would choke.
You have that
You
like
know?
PTSD every time you're watching. Like even
Mongols
me,
is so fucking clinical.
I watched Mongols win that
They're
game.
like ice cold, bro.
I watched Mongols win that game on Ancient last night against G2. Whatever the score was, 13-4, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, really, really wide.
And then they're up like, what was it, like 8-4 or 9-3 or something on Anubis after the first half. I'm like, oh, they haven't won that yet, boys.
it's not enough.
You know, and then they obviously win it, and it's like, okay, they just 2-0 G2. Like, that's unbelievable. Although, again, now I'm
They
watching...
won on an eco.
MA
That got me.
They did.
M80's up
half
7-1
force.
over G2 on map 2 after winning map 1 as well. So,
Crazy.
you know, again, I think that speaks to perhaps G2 having issues. But that's so weird to me. There's like G2 were pretty decent in Chengdu, like top 4 in China and then top 4 in the major. And now they're here, like shitting the bed at EPL.
What are we pointing at?
The score.
It
First map score. And what's the score now, Mac?
was 13-2.
13-2, and it's now 7-1.
Yeah.
Wild.
M80 versus G2 are getting domed by M80.
Bro,
But M80
7-1-0.
is pretty good as well at the moment. And actually,
yeah,
I thought it
yeah.
was going to be a Mongolz carry fest. But the entirety of M80 right now is playing really fucking well.
Yeah.
I want to quickly touch on just like what I've loved watching, at least from this progression of like kind of the APAC arc again, is like Mongolz at the helm.
Right.
You know, Lin Vision's a part of the story.
I think it's
obviously,
cool,
as
yeah.
well, and FlyQuest is part of the story. But just the fact that like not even us as you know like our viewers can sort of sit back and go like, you know, we're watching him improve. They're getting respect from the casters now. It's not just
Yeah.
the Bleh show being like, fuck yeah, Asian CS is sick. It's like everyone on the casters being like, these guys are firing up. they're looking
Launders
good.
and like Harry or Launders was just like Mongols win the major.
Yeah,
and just shit like that.
but you remember that used to be like kind of a piss take, like Asian teams. Oh fuck, you know they have this like pop off moment.
Yeah.
It's like no, like Mongolz.
The
they need to be
storyline was always,
taken
oh, they're Asian,
legitimately.
they're going to be aggressive, and they're
Yep.
going to hit heads, they're going to click good, but they don't know anything. And now it's like, I think people are actually starting to care a little bit about Asian CS again, which I would have to say for probably a better part of 5 years, people did not give a fuck.
And it's structured too. It's not organized chaos, right? Like they look like they know what each other's
Depending on
doing.
the team.
Depending
Yeah,
on the
yeah, of
team,
course.
yeah,
And now
yeah.
it's like, okay, well, Mongols are doing fantastic, obviously, for the region and being great representatives. But like Lim Vision have had their moments. FlyQuest we saw at Chengdu are going to have their moments as well. I don't really think there's anyone beyond those three who's like at that level at the moment. I mean, Tyloo's playing a lot of these events, but fuck knows what's happening.
Rare Adams looking good.
Yeah, you want to see the
New
new
Rare
Rare
Adam.
Rare Adam,
roster, hopefully.
interesting.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, when the RMRs roll around or whatever, like people actually seem to be like, oh, I want to kind of tune into the Asia RMR now instead of I don't give a fuck about that event at all, which is kind of cool. Like I feel, and I don't know if this is right or if this is like copium, but like just even anecdotally, like this show, Geographically Challenged, it's an Asia CS show. We did this show for probably since like 2020 or something like that. We've been doing it for years. And we were struggling to hit 500 viewers on an episode a few years ago. Now it's like easy 1,000 viewers for an episode, sometimes up to 4,000 viewers if it's like a good episode during the RMR. We're talking about interesting topics. So it's like, that's pretty crazy growth just for my channel talking about Asia CS. So I feel like just, if you take 2 and 2 together and, sort of extrapolate from that, it's just people kind of seem to care a little bit more, which is like a really positive sign for me. Shanghai Major, obviously a big deal as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the 196 talking, but I feel like Asia CS is in a good
Or
place.
one beer, Elfishguy.
3 sips in.
Yeah, but that's like 50%
That's
of
my
his body
fault.
weight.
That is true.
I've been running and not eating for like the last week. So yeah.
Hot boy summer
Hot boy
when
summer.
it gets around that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, look, I think it's in a good spot. So I think it's great. I mean, obviously fantastic stuff from Mongolz, but yeah, I love the bromance as well that Lim Vision and Mongolz have. I don't know if you've seen that on Twitter. I think that's pretty cool.
Cute as. Yeah.
That started at the RMR.
Yeah.
Or like maybe it started earlier, but
Well,
it looked really good at the
Although
RMR.
it's not even just the bromance on Twitter. Like the players actually hang out and get along and stuff. Like I think a lot of it's like G.
Because they went out. There was a photo of them at dinner
Yeah,
right after their
yeah.
RMR. I think it pretty was. Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't understand. I don't understand how it happens because like Mongols are very like shy.
Yeah.
They don't really speak. Even when you talk to them, and then
Even when they qualify to the playoffs of EPL,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they just stand up.
so
No,
I mean,
no emotion, no
tech-
reaction.
Techno's like so confused every question.
Yeah.
It's like,
I love Techno in the
yes.
interview because it is funny because like he'll get asked a question and just say whatever the fuck he wants to say. Like I love it. He'd be like, oh, what did you guys put in any prac for this event or something? He's like, yeah, we hope we'll play really well and
Wait.
I think we'll do good.
Shout out to Mazzino on the couch,
Just-
just sitting
he
there
just
like
sat
a
there.
giga chad.
Yeah.
If
He's
you roll back that,
he just
that
sat there.
post game segment on the couch of Pro League, he just sat there with his arms crossed.
Yep.
No smile or business.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word.
the youngest guy in the room as well.
I mean, my point though is about like this Lim Vision Mongols sort of thing. It's like there does feel like there's a little bit more of a community starting to build again in Asia CS, which it kind of was like back in the day, if you remember. You had like oh, there you go. Ooh.
Damn.
You got like the
Well-
you had like the boot guys and the Aussie teams, and they used to sort of hang out a little bit, and then like
Extremes Land era, baby.
yeah, these kinds of things, and like the Philippines teams, and like there was the only teams that really felt like they kind of kept to themselves a lot were like Chinese teams. But even the Korean guys, like the MVP guys, like I remember talking to them and stuff, and it feels like that's sort of coming back a little bit, which I think is pretty cool. You're seeing the same names kind of crop up a fair bit. ATOC's doing pretty good as well, and this fucking Misa Nomadic Masters event that's going to be in like a month time, that'll be cool as well. So it's again, I don't know, like I'm pretty happy with it where it's at. I want to see how things go at
Do
the
we know if
Shanghai
there's
Major.
an English stream for that?
Maybe,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yep.
I don't know yet.
I'll just leave that up to the imagination. But the Mongols doing great. I think not too much more to say really about them at EPL. Do we want to talk about Tyloo? We love talking about Tyloo on this show.
I love talking about Tyloo. I suppose it's just for me the thing, right? It's you watch sort of as Chengdu was coming in, there was this new roster, there was all this hype around, and then all of a sudden turns on its head. Same roster's playing. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And then, but they're still like showing up to events and like a kind of performing.
It's weird, isn't it?
I don't get it. It doesn't make any fucking
The thing
sense,
is,
right?
I think it's just down to whether or not Jam Young and Mercury play well.
Basically, yeah, for sure.
I was so openly and loudly excited when Advent got removed. Or
Everyone
looked
was.
Like he
Have you
got
seen,
removed.
by
I was
the
like,
way?
Thank God he is gone. Like, not because I hate him, just because he doesn't
I've got nothing
perform,
against him, never
right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No,
I love
nothing
him as
wrong
an
with it at all.
individual, but
He's the GOAT.
man, he's the problem. And they bring him back. I was like,
Have you seen?
you could have had a good thing, man.
Have you seen Neokai? I don't know
I was
if
about
Neokai's
to say
going to watch
Neokai's
this.
tweets.
Hey, Nao.
Neokai, fucking whatever, mate.
We love you, Neo.
Write it with an A.
Whoa.
Write it with an A. Bitch.
That's his second bitch today.
Yeah.
That's the fifth sip of the 196 sorghum. But yeah, like, have you seen he's fucking going in on Advent, bro? And like, I respect it because I agree.
But it's the
like,
thing is, a
Get out, mate.
0.45 rating. You've got to start talking, right?
I mean,
it's not just a one game. It's underperforming.
It used to
over
be
time.
like, Advent's like really smart and he like counter strats and he brings structure to the team. But like, I just don't even think it's like that relevant anymore.
I don't know, man. He walked through a straight crossfire when Vertex played him that one time.
It's true. He won that big clutch.
Won a 1v2 that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Impossible
Other
to lose
than
post-plant.
then like 3 no scopes that Kaze hit, but fuck that series,
Oh
bro.
my god, that was on Overpass, wasn't it? Yeah, fuck Jesus.
So I don't know what they're doing. I did think that Kaze had been benched, but like I think now in hindsight he had gone on holiday, and that's why they were using Lyrics for a little while. So I don't know if Lyrics has got much of a room in that team. I was not impressed with Lyrics when we were watching them play ESL Challenger League. So I don't think that he was like a adequate replacement as far as an AWPA is concerned for Tyloo. But I just don't know what you do with that team. We talked about it a little bit on the last episode, Pilly. I remember, the next rumor was that like they were going to get Spine from New Happy and like a couple other players here and there. I think was it Summer or Attacker that was going to come back in? I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. And then the other rumor was, I don't know if you guys heard this, but fucking they're like Advent's going to make a team with Ormond, Zoking, Jam Young, and
Yeah.
That's shocking.
who was the other one? One of the other OGs. Freeman. It's like you could have literally just pulled fucking Vici Gaming out of 2018, and that's the team that you've just decided to make in 2024.
That's one of the reasons I was actually excited for New Happy to come here as well. It's like to actually see what form they're in to be potentially ripped apart. Like,
Well, I think that team's dead. Yeah, I think the team's
Yeah,
dead.
literally.
Is it
Yeah.
Li Hang? Li Hang?
Li
He
Hung,
was the-
Li Hung, whatever you
Oh
want
yeah,
to
you
call
guys
him.
were saying Li Hung,
It's,
whatever. but
it's on
He was
HLTV.
good.
He's Ahung and Li Hang on.
when we were
Wikipedia.
watching online, it was just after the Rare Atom announcement that they picked him up and put him into that new roster.
Yep.
And I was like keeping an extra eye on him. Like, you know what? He's actually really good. So
Yeah.
I was hoping New Happy would come to this event so we could see how they did on land, and I could keep an eye on Li Hang.
Because
all that.
Wings Up was fucking sick to have here last time.
Exactly.
We had an awesome
Every
crowd
Chinese
for
team we've
them
had
and-
at Melbourne has been good.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, really good. And that's what I was wondering back. So because we had this kind of, that 4-team block again where it's like Tyloo, Rare Atom, Lin Vision, and Wings Up were all looking pretty decent. There was some variation in the rosters and stuff, but I feel like that's fallen away a little bit. And I'm
Yeah.
just wondering where all the, there's so many Chinese players, right? And
It is weird, isn't it?
we got to jump back into 5e, baby. Just start pulling them out.
It's also because this isn't straight just an Asia event right now for us, right? So it's also just getting a broader spectrum of teams to come
Sure.
down here and, well, fucking destroy the Aussies. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Speaking of destroying, I just want to do a little score update for everyone that is in the future or past, whenever this is.
it's not going to air in the
G2,
past. I'll
since
tell
we
you that
laughed
for
at
free.
them for being 7-1, they got 4 rounds in a row.
7-5,
So
so
G2
it's
is so
a bit more
Barack.
even it.
They're back, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with Chinese CS. I think it's still in that weird period where like they're all trying to just build a team for the major, and I feel like in the process kind of fucking each other over and fucking over the region in a way. Like if you would just build the team, like if you would combine, maybe not even touch Lin Vision, but combine like New Happy, Rare Atom, Tyloo, and have like, Jam Young Mercury. Jam Young Mercury have to be in the team, in my opinion. Like if you're building anything. And then it's like, who's the best AWPer? Seems like maybe Spine. Is he an AWPer? He is, right?
Who's calling for Lin Vision
Tiger's
again?
the AWPer. Well, it must have been Tiger. I think I'm thinking of Tiger.
Yeah, bro, get Westmelon in as the call
No,
up.
but what I'm saying is you don't touch Lin Vision.
What? No, but we're making a super team.
Okay, if we're making a super team, I mean, yeah, I think you have to take Westmelon.
Yep.
Starry.
Sorry.
Do you take G? And then it's Jam Young Mercury.
The team
Bro,
is just
so G,
Vision.
G,
That's why I'm saying don't touch Lin Vision, because then it's not
G
interesting.
Chengdu played well in a couple of games, but he also made some
But
atrocious
I just don't think
mistakes
there's
at the
that many
major.
good AWPers in China right now.
Nah,
It doesn't seem like anyway. So that's the hard part. That's why it's like you can't remove Kaze because there's no one better.
yeah. I
Same
feel
thing as
there's
like FlyQuest. You can't remove Ali because there's no one better.
really,
Get
really
Annihilation
desperately-
in. He can probably speak Mandarin.
I don't
If
think-
not,
Yeah, maybe.
you got 6 months to teach him.
He's in that ATOX team now as well. So
Yeah.
that'll be
I'm
interesting.
sort of thinking like maybe a lack of like sort of leadership to build up some of these newer players and kind of get them back into control. You know,
even
that's
that-
always been a problem in Chinese CS.
They were talking about that like in the interview that Gum did. He was like saying, yeah, like Westmelon's even still learning to be an IGL and learning to call mid rounds.
Yeah.
It's like he's been an IGL for like 2 years now or something. And you know,
I
mean,
just want to say, I love Mongolian players and they all speak like 5 languages or some shit. And like, what's another? Just add Mandarin in there.
they do though. By the
They
way,
probably do speak Mandarin. as well,
Everyone
as
we
part of
met
it, yeah.
seemed to speak multiple languages, bro.
they speak English. Yeah, English and Mongolian.
And yep, that's 2.
That's
And
two.
then a bit of Russian for the most part.
True.
And then, Russian's probably harder to learn than Mandarin, or maybe not.
More than
I
us,
think
man.
it's
It's like
more
interviewing some
similar to
people. It's like
Mongolian.
you literally speak to
Yeah.
people from around the world who speak fucking better English than us when it's like their second
Yeah.
or third language.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do as a Chinese team. I think they just have to do their best, it seems like, and who knows what the fuck's going on there. But Tyloo, did they impress at EPL? Not really. They lost, but they took a map off Falcons, which is like, I don't know.
There's still a last chance thing.
Yeah, they've
right?
got to play Sharks.
Well, I think
Winnable.
we need to wait for all these other losses and stuff today to figure
No,
out.
they actually have their matchup, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
they do?
I think
Okay.
so. I can't remember who
What,
it
later
was, though.
today?
Not today. Like, the matchup is, like, locked in, though, I believe.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I can't check, though, because my phone's recording.
Also,
Sorry.
EPL format now is like, it was 5 days on, 1 day off, then a media day, then another week. But now it's 6 days and then a media day.
Yeah,
So there's no
no
days
days
off for
off.
3 weeks straight.
Yeah, it's cool.
So everyone's always on.
Oh yeah. No, Tyloo are playing Sharks
That's
at
it, yeah.
3 this morning, like in the morning.
Oh, I'm
tomorrow.
not watching
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
That's
nah,
too late.
Too late. Yeah,
But-
that'll be the last game of the day.
I mean, maybe winnable, but like only winnable if like because Mercury was having an insane tournament. He's been fucking dropping numbers. Only winnable if Mercury plays well and Jam Young.
It's always been an issue, right? Like you need everyone performing,
Yeah.
especially when you're versing these EU teams. Like there obviously is always going to be like individual.
Yeah, but I'd been
pop-offs.
on the team.
But yeah, well, exactly right. You need all 5, and that's always been the case with just like
Yeah.
APAC teams in general.
I'm so mad that Advent just like pulled out a fucking 2.5 rating game to stop Mongolz from playing at IEM Chengdu.
Oh my god.
It's like he just fucking shit on them in
Where
the
does it
Chinese
come from?
qual-
Literally,
in the
what,
Asia qual for Chengdu,
Century game, for
and
the
then it
man.
disappears again. And they just did nothing at Chengdu. Whereas Mongols are obviously on a bit of a tear at the moment. Imagine if they played at Chengdu. That would have been sick. Anyways, we'll get to see them in a bit at Pro League again. But what are we at? We're at 27 minutes. So how about we talk about the patch notes? I know you've got some opinions, Mac,
I always have opinions on
on
whatever
Dust
you want me to
2
have opinions on.
Overpass.
It's
More on the
pulling out
minus
of thin air.
Overpass. I want to just get a quick vibe check. Let's not get too deep into it just yet. But
D2, personally,
just quickly. Happy with minus Overpass?
No.
No?
Fuck no.
No?
no.
I mean,
Bad.
there's so many shit maps in the pool.
That's what I wanna touch
but
on, like-
Overpass, I'm not happy with either.
Like getting rid of Overpass? Okay, yeah, sure.
so-
but getting rid of it for Dust 2?
No, okay, so this is where we get into the thick of things. But you're no, yeah. And I'm kind of yeah. Like I don't really love Overpass either. It wouldn't have been my first choice to remove. So generally speaking, seems like we're not happy with removing Overpass. But Dust 2 in.
Hate it.
Again, it's that whole thing where like there could have been so many other maps you remove and so many other maps you could have fucking added back
Yeah.
in, and we get
So that's a
Dust 2
no.
Dead. Kill it.
I like Dust 2. I think it's fine because it's a map that's ready. And
That is true.
I am like, I had this conversation with Lucy earlier. Lucy, sorry if you're watching this, but fuck you.
Whoa!
Whoa!
No, because she was
We are
so,
Lucy
she
Lucy
was
enjoyers
so
here.
against it. She's like, it is the most boring map. I'm like, no, but you can break smokes now, which actually changes so much.
Does
on the
change,
map.
yeah.
It changes so much, and I just want to watch it. I
Okay,
don't
but
wanna
that
watch
was a
it for
very
2
long way
years.
of saying you like Dust 2.
I like Dust 2, but
And you like Lucy.
But I want to watch. Anyway, keep it that way.
Just say yes or no. Yes or no, Dust 2.
If I like Dust 2.
As in, are you happy Dust 2's back? Regardless of what it replaces.
No.
Okay.
I like Dust 2, but I think like the recent
It's impossible to get a yes or no answer out of you guys.
The recent maps that they've added have been successes. So why wouldn't
This
they
is-
add
okay,
another new map?
so this is
like
where-
Ancient
this is-
and Anubis are the
exactly.
most played in the pool.
You know what? Actually, you get a pass mark for that one, Pilski, because that's where I wanted to take this discussion. I wanted to ask you guys.
I just also want to apologise to Lucy. I'm sorry for saying fuck you.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Keep going.
There was a couple of 196s.
I know she would get it, but other
all
people
seasons.
that might be like, what?
Yeah. What I wanted to ask you guys was,
Miami.
do you think, like, again, like obviously Overpass gone, Dust 2 in, you know, it seems like generally speaking we're like maybe not super hot on that as a choice. My thing is like the newest maps that they've added to the pool, Ancient and Anubis, in my opinion are like two of the best maps in the pool right now. I like Ancient, I like Anubis, I like Nuke. Those are my top three. And there are obviously two maps that have come out of nowhere basically, like they were not in the pool prior. I believe it was Anubis was a map, like a mapping community map, and Ancient, is that a Valve map? That's a Valve map. So where it comes from doesn't necessarily matter, but like it's proof that I think Anubis actually at the moment is my favorite map to watch. At least I think it's proof that a mapping community makes a good map. You can put it in and it works. Ancient, Valve can make a decent map and make it work, although they had to go through a lot of changes to make it work. Why, in my opinion, why are we bringing back an old map
Yes.
that, look, I don't hate Dust 2. I've not necessarily got anything against Dust 2, but I just think with the success of the new maps that are, I think in general, most people's favorite maps, Ancient and Anubis, most people seem to be really hype on. Why are we bringing an old map back when surely, again, I don't know, I'm not fucking in deep with the mapping community, but like, is there not a new map somewhere that we could try? I want a bit of variety.
Yeah, I mean, the mapping
That's my take.
comps exist for a reason, right? The whole map core, I think it's called community, where it's like you've got people like FM Pone, who Cash Creator, Santorini, Gwalior, like Sub-Zero, just rambling off season. Like, there's so many maps that can come on out into this as well. Like Farah that's currently getting, I think that was the map that we had in
Yeah,
the
saw it. I am Chengdu.
Chengdu show match. Yeah, and it's like new built maps for the community for the evolving you know style of Counter-Strike as well. Like you think now with these new smoke properties, you can actually tailor specific components on a map
Like,
to play with that.
It makes our job harder because we have to learn a new map
does,
and
but-
there's new callouts and this and that. But like at the end of the day, I think it's better for the game if things continue to evolve rather than just have the same old maps.
Old
all
maps
the
only
time.
cater for the older community. I feel like right now, if you're having to get better at this game, you're having to put in the effort. And on a new map, it's making sure that you're still keeping up with the times.
I don't know, man. Like, people still don't know utility on Dust 2, so
No,
you
of
can't,
course
you can't
not.
make any of this. You can't make any of those arguments. I got like 17 points here. First point is Santorini was sick. Whatever the Thera at the show match, that was great to watch. I was really hoping that would come in if it was going to replace something. There was any map where there's like some kind of team-based gameplay where you got to boost up to get into specific areas of the map. I've always been about that. That's why like Cobble was cool and some of those older maps were cool. Cash was cool. You could counter boost at mid and stuff. And that was always like a cool little strategy. Like that's why Overpass was cool because boosting was super important around short. You had so many different places you could go, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at a map like Dust 2, boosting's kind of like way less prevalent and it's very basic. Like mechanics-wise, it's cool. And I just want to see how the new mechanics of Counter-Strike 2, the whatever you want to call them, like gimmicks and stuff, work on it. It's cool. But when you take Overpass, which was one of the more strategic maps out, I would be hoping you'd bring something in that was a new map or a train or something that was more of a team-based thing, not just another pug one, to make the game way more puggy and weird and shit than what it already kind of is.
I can
Dust
100%
2 as
get
well has
behind
been
that.
played to fucking death.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I would like to see that variety in the map pool as well. I admit, like, again, Overpass is... I think for me, Overpass is easily my least favorite map to play. And that's probably just because I'm fucking shit at the game. So there's that. But I don't even find myself massively enjoying watching it a lot of the time. I think I really don't like... The two maps that I actually don't like watching are Inferno. Boring as fuck because it's always saving. Yep.
Yeah.
Every fucking second round or almost every round. And like, you know, Inferno has a lot of, I think, positives, but I can't get past the negative of just like 30, 45 seconds of downtime.
I got one more.
Every
so
round.
Thorin put a tweet out, which it made you sort of think, right?
Right.
He's like, why would you remove that? Essentially, tell me like 5 historic moments
On
that are memorable
Vertigo.
that you could remember.
I've got one.
which is what
Leave
memorable
them in the
means.
past, though.
On Vertigo.
I've
right?
easily got the first one.
And I came up with a couple,
Purely can think of it too.
but I couldn't think of 5 on the spot. But I know that there's definitely multiple. The main
MP7.
one that sticks out is, the pick from FaZe against Spirit at the major.
Right.
Like that, that's kind of cool. And then one of the other ones was like that first show match we did at IEM Sydney with Bad falling, jumping off the edge of the map. And they're the two that sprung to mind. But everything
One of
else,
them's a show
it's
match,
just,
bro.
it's just a mess.
Billy's got one.
Furia boost
Oh yeah.
True.
on Scaff. That was fucking bullshit when that happened.
Somebody was it? Somebody? It was somebody, right? I think it was somebody.
Yeah, I think somebody force bought it and then
Somebody
someone
force
picked it up.
buying an MP7 and then slowly picked it up. Slowly picked it up and won the match.
Alistair's comeback against Tyloo to make.
I mean,
the,
see, we're just doing
make
the
major.
Asia
Yeah.
CS side, but I mean, I see that take for sure. And like again, the thing for me is like
Didn't Vexite get a good clutch on it the other week?
maybe
Probably.
I think.
good on him.
Common for
like
common
an ace or
FlyQuest
something.
moment.
I will say, like I said, Inferno is my least favorite map to watch because it's downtime's too much. And then it's kind of like Overpass. I see the merits in Overpass in the way
Really?
that well, yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting things that like the CTs can do on the top side of the map and stuff like that, and how the Ts have to like use their util to take map control around.
I
You know,
think
it's a bit different to some of the
Overpass-
other maps,
I
but
think Overpass is way too tedious on the T side, and they've never fixed it.
I just think yeah, it's a big map. You know,
It's way too
takes
big.
a
There's
long
too many
time.
fucking things you have to do as T.
Correct.
You shouldn't have to do that many things.
So I see the issues as well with it, but I don't.
Simple,
shouldn't.
easy.
No, literally, it's too many things. Like it
getcha.
used to be okay because B rushes used to be good.
Aren't you a Valorant coach?
No, but you know what? I was gonna make
Fuck you, Billy.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bro, legit. You know what though? I actually like. Valorant also has.
Don't
its
say
wor-
I actually like Valorant.
Valorant-
Shitiots are really good at Overpass, right?
Valorant also has it. I mean, didn't you cast me like 1v5ing or
Yep.
something on
Yep.
Overpass? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and he
Checking on
goes, "Oh
HLTV.
my God, Mitch, Pilski,
Bilibowskis.
Fuck.
So anyway, what were you gonna say?
I think Valorant also has the worst map pool ever at the moment, but
Right.
Valorant changes maps way more frequently and they take way more risks with the map pool. And I think that
They try to change
What
the
I
maps
th-
up a bit too.
yeah, what I think is that like the old school maps don't fit the current like style and like way of playing TAC FPS anymore.
Right.
And well, I don't know. I just don't think that. That's my opinion.
Like who even are you?
But like yeah, from coaching Valorant guys is my opinion about Counter Strike. Yeah, no, it's fine. What was I gonna say? No,
Something
I
about
can't.
hating Overpass.
Well, I hate a lot of the maps. I actually hate most.
Well,
of
what
the
maps do we not like? I don't like Inferno. I don't like
I don't
Overpass.
like Inferno.
Vertigo,
Overpass,
I see why people
Vertigo,
don't like
I
it.
don't like.
Everything else I'm fine with.
What's that? Ancient.
I like Mirage. Actually,
Mirage.
Mirage is like okay.
Mirage is
like,
boring,
It's
but
done
it's
its
okay.
time.
It's boring to
like-
watch, but I really like playing Mirage.
Yeah.
Mirage is like my favorite map to play.
My problem is there's not enough new things in Counter-Strike. I would prefer like a good rotating map pool where every major cycle you're completely getting rid of maps, like one or two,
One at least.
one at least, and enforcing like teams to pick it up because we saw, as you said, the success of Ancient, the success
I
of
agree.
Anubis, and all
Like-
the new teams picking them up. Like our region, Australia. We see our teams pick up new maps almost immediately, right?
See,
it's very common. Nowadays we do.
If
Nowadays
those
we do.
maps were bad,
No, before
I
we
could see
even
the
move on,
argument against
I don't
it.
care what you have to say.
Shut the fuck up.
There's
It's my
one bit of
podcast,
util today. There was this sick flash, which I've never actually seen in a game, probably work in Europe because
Okay.
people play anti-flash in different positions. But it fucked up Rooster today. Rebels were just throwing this flash that was pop flashing off of the roof and sitting behind pillar, so the B main players could just swing right,
Yeah.
and whoever was over towards the back of sight and like also near E-box were just both blind, and they just run in and die every single round.
Yeah, I literally watched that round and I was like, they've never played against that shit before in their lives, and they got fucking destroyed by it.
Yeah, literally everyone's just like walking house, like against the Aussie teams in general. They're like walking house on Ancient and
What?
shit. It's like, man.
One flash, yeah, one
flash.
flash wins around. No, but Valorant's broken how I see TAC FPS. Like I used to think like all of the OG maps were like really good, and I actually disagree that Dust 2 at the start of CS:GO was a puggy map. But I don't think Dust 2 at the end of CS:GO is a puggy map at all. I think it'd be figured out to the point where you, as a T, would be like, okay, we hear util on long, like the CTs are taking long, we go cat, and then we wrap back to long control, or we go cat, and then we go mid to B. It was very formulaic. It was actually very tactical, not like super puggy, where it used to be like, oh, we're going to fucking run out lower dark into mid and fucking mid to B, I don't know, maybe. Oh, Scream's one tap the cunt jumping in CT spawn. Like, okay, I guess that works. But like I think Valorant's really changed my perspective, because when like Fracture in Valorant came out, for example, I said, who the fuck thought of this map? Like, you must be on drugs, cunt. But then I played it more, and like I watched it more in pro play, and I was like, this is actually kind of good. Like I thought that the person that made this was into like cock and ball torture or some shit, but this is like, actually, I can fucking get into this, bro.
You can get into cock and ball torture. There you go.
Like, legit, it was such a weird fucking map.
We're not shaming anyone that is into cock and ball torture. Everyone is entitled to enjoying what they want to enjoy.
I love that you have to make these.
To be fair, on your
Disclaimers.
point, the community probably hated on Fracture as the worst map ever.
But it was good. Like, if people figured out how to play it,
it was different when people did figure out how to play it, and it like pushed the boundary of team strategy and good mid-round decisioning and just new strats with like different agents.
And Riot also literally goes, "Fuck you, play the fucking map."
But
we don't care.
even Haven, it was like, what? They made a fucking map with 3 sites. Like, this is like, you've got to be on drugs, like, for real. It's
And I
not
think
being good, bro.
That's basically what it all sort of comes down to, and I think what like heaps of people are sort of saying. I definitely think Overpass probably wasn't the right map to remove. Like, that you could have removed other maps.
I don't know.
Obviously, it's all subjective. People fucking don't give a shit about certain maps. Like I'm similar thing. Inferno, get fucking rid of it. It's had some of the most amazing moments in all
Just don't
the
like
time.
New Inferno.
It's just boring in the
I mean,
meta, right? Like,
like-
the meta shifts for a
the
reason.
meta's the problem. Let's fix up the money, huh? Let's fix the economy so
That's a whole
everyone can
nother
buy
story,
it
I get
more
what
you're
often
saying,
and
Mac,
make
but
it a
that's
bit
not
more
happening.
entertaining.
No, it's not
That's
happening
something.
right now,
Well, hey, they changed the price of the Zeus. They changed you getting money for the
Yeah,
Zeus. You
free-
can now
free-
run 10 units faster with the Zeus, Mitch.
$300 for a CZ kill as well. CZ's back.
Oh, Susie actually back. That's true.
But like, yeah, the Valorant maps definitely changed my idea of how attack FPS is meant to function. Obviously, it's fucking different because you have a man with a hat who can put tripwires down, and you don't have to worry about one of the fucking sites. Fuck, I didn't know that was in Inferno. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's a Counter-Strike source thing in the church, and obviously that doesn't really apply to CS2, but no, I'm talking about man with hat. But like, I think that the way that the maps are played, like the old maps have been figured out so much. Like Dust 2 is just going to get played the same way, and the other is going to be HE nading inside the smoke, which is going to change like a few things. Like, if you
Like a mid to B.
you're going to go mid to
Yeah.
B. I'm going to nade inside the smoke, and maybe you'll die. It's like that's like literally it.
You can, if they mid the B, right? T's mid into B. You have like 3 people in CT. You used to have to boost on like both boxes and hopefully see over the top of the smoke. Now you drop a nade. You have someone who's on B site who may be getting split from tunnels, then swinging doors at the same time as you have 3 people looking at you from CT spawn. You have the hardest crossfire.
No, you're
what do the
right.
people on B ramp do?
Crossing CT when
It's a
you're on
fully different dynamic.
Crossing
You've
CT on A long as well is going to be fucking scary.
There's probably going to be another smoke because they like waterfall up and everything now that you don't need a double smoke for the mid cross. Like you can
Maybe.
throw one.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
you can probably throw one smoke at mid doors now on Dust 2 as well, and it'll just cover the whole bloody thing.
I just think fundamentally it doesn't suit the modern style of CS, and the reason why I say that is like Anubis and Ancient play in a similar way to me, where it's like very push and pull. It feels
Agree.
like the Ts have options. Oh, we can fucking go take A main control on Anubis, then the CTs are going to be fighting for E-box or like aggressive mid in the mid round, or they can push out B main. I used to be very much Inferno. Like, there's fucking 3 lanes on this map, or like 2 lanes. Apps is kind of a lane. It's like 2.5 lanes. 2.5 lanes, Mac.
You fucking wait your turn, Mac.
You hold on, Mac.
This isn't
Ancient
even
and
your
Anubis-
podcast,
Ancient,
right?
No,
This is
Ancient and
ours.
Anubis have like 4 or 5 lanes.
You're lucky to be
right?
here.
So there's options, and I've become much more of a fan of options than I used to be.
You said Inferno, and there's Inferno changes. They're actually really nice changes.
You want to
Did
do
look at
you
them
want
all
to
yet?
do you want to move on from the map discussion? We've been doing
Yeah,
it. For a bit.
I was
Can I say
saying
one
that
more thing?
let's move on from
Okay,
Dust
give
2.
Komodo his
and let's
little
move
2
into.
cents.
Wait, what are you talking about?
He said one more thing, so he's got one.
In-
Maps, just maps.
Yep.
You can do
Inferno
you
or
can do your
Dust 2?
Inferno thing.
That's two.
Maps in general.
Okay, we'll
You
save
say.
that for later then.
You talk.
I talk. Okay.
Okay, you go.
Everyone was complaining that they wanted Source 2 on Counter Strike.
Okay.
Right? Let CS:GO in its ecosystem die. Give us new maps for CS2 and let it be something new. It doesn't need to be the same.
They gave us
Fuck you, bring back
we
Train.
we didn't ask for
I like
sub tick, and
Train.
they gave us sub tick.
I like train.
Like, wait, you want Source 2? Cool, we'll give you sub tick. have fun. We have not.
We're moving on, Mac.
But
Let's go.
Inferno, it is nice that they've literally cleared up a lot of things that were weird. There's a thing that I forgot even was on there, but I've died to it about 4 times.
All right.
There was a weird like pot plant when in front of Dark before you go into Con, right on the corner. There was a weird pot plant that was circular, and if you were strafing into the wall, you would have usually just walked into Con.
Yeah.
But there was this thing that stopped you, so you get locked into this corner that didn't exist in Go, and it was just there. And it seemed to be like a map knowledge thing, but they got rid of it now because obviously enough people were like, why the fuck is that there?
They just decluttered the whole map.
Yeah, they
made it
decluttered
competitive.
it.
Like,
So are you
design.
making the argument that because they've made changes to Inferno, it's good now?
It
No.
could be better.
No.
It could be
Look,
better.
to be fair, they gave Ancient 6 months to get good, so fair. But like,
Mac, this just in. Mac says they changed a pot plant and the map's fixed.
We're so back.
That's true. They've changed multiple pot plants now. They've changed multiple areas and the vision on it so much better. We'll see. I'll see if we get to see it. J-Raz, do me a good
man,
job
he's
right
not
now.
at
He's
fucking
here.
Pro League. He's
J-Raz.
in
J-Raz
Melbourne.
is here.
We could have got him in on the potty.
MC is
MC. Well, that's easier to
Someone send him a
telepathy with
message
him.
and tell him to come to
Michael,
room 12
Michael, if you
1102.
could hear me right now,
1105.
shut-
There we go. We got there in the
Anyway.
end. Third try.
Wait, did you hear our fanfic about MC we made earlier?
Can you please tell me now?
No, we don't want to talk about that.
That was last night, and technically that's earlier. Do you want to inform the class?
I'll just leave it at one word. It was a long extended fanfic that we made about Michael Campagna, the least, not the least erotic person, but a less, not,
Alright, someone-
not a
Jordan,
man
can
that I
you-
see erotic, but I'll just leave it at the word cream deck.
Anyway, he's done a great
Move
job.
on, move
He's
on,
done a
quick.
great job at ESL Pro League. Shout out to MC.
He's done a great.
And
He
his cream
represents
deck.
our country well. I
Cream
love it.
deck goes hard. Makes me cream.
What, Dick?
Cream deck. Yep.
Wait, no, I didn't hear it. Can you let me know quickly?
What are we, 7?
Wait. We might see it. We might see it. So,
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think they can
Mitch
see
has
it on
actually
the...
just opened his next one.
Listen, I don't even know if that's still fucking recording. And even if it is, I don't know if they can see the TV. So it's
anyway,
fine.
there's nice changes. They've removed lots of
Yeah,
pot plants.
but-
They've removed lots of problems.
I don't know. Fuck Inferno anyway, man. Like,
Less roofs, less
let's
issues.
minus Inferno plus train. I'll be happy with that.
Would you have just rather...
How's it looking?
Inferno?
Ooh. That's actually big.
Quick question, Jordan.
Yes.
Would you have rather Overpass stayed and Inferno or Mirage gone instead?
Absolutely would have rather had Inferno gone over Overpass gone. Beautiful. Definitely.
I'd still take Mirage for
Any
a D2
agreeers?
because it's technically like a straight swap.
I like Mirage though.
I like Mirage.
I like Mirage. I like Anubis.
Mirage
I like
can be-
Ancient. I think those are sort of the maps which like you could potentially replace
Nuke.
D2 with. But like I don't want to remove any of them. So
D2's like
and I like
the
Nuke,
most,
but that's not even closely related to D2 at all.
the most basic. People were calling it like the truest FPS map, like back
Well,
when
that's just
it was
'cause it's
like
iconic.
CS:GO, right?
It's iconic.
And who knows what it is now? Like it still is there in the competitive pool. I played a fuck ton of it, honestly. Like since CS2's been out. But every time I play it, it's not a true competitive game because usually it's just getting competitive and you get like people that don't touch the game properly. And I'm like, yo, can you flash me long? And they don't know like a normal flash lineup. And I'm like, okay, this is where we're at. This is welcome to Australia.
With the like memorable moments on Dust 2 discussion, that's the thing that I think about when I think it was like TAC FPS has kind of evolved a bit. It's like I know that the map was out ages ago, and maybe that's like a big reason why. But like a lot of the I don't remember any big moments on new Dust 2. I remember like a lot of the big moments happening
Panic saving
ages ago, like the fucking
Yeah,
the-
true.
yeah
true,
the
true.
old
Who was it?
Just knew that.
like
Oh.
did anything.
No, that was old.
Yeah, it must
I
have
think
been
it's all old Dust 2 that I remember all those.
No,
Like,
who was
iconic,
it? Jordan, you
legendary
and me
moments.
casted the ANZ Champs game
Splashy.
that time. And someone hit like some nuts orb shot through the box with the jumping orb. Isaiah? Yes.
Oh,
Isaiah.
Isaiah, yeah.
Yeah.
Isaiah, what? Yeah.
Probably.
And then you went. Yeah, but like I don't know. Whatever. Are we still talking about maps?
No, move on.
All right.
Nah, we're done. We're done.
What do you want to talk about? What's next? Any other
here's
changes in the
something.
patch notes that you
Bob,
thought was interesting?
left hand.
Left hand was the big one.
Yeah. And you get this new crosshair as well that like shows lines everywhere.
Okay.
So it's
I haven't really
lines
looked
up.
at the patch notes. I had a quick
Yeah.
browse, but it's too many words.
You can see your teammates' view models and crosshair, so you can sit and watch how they play from your screen when you're dead.
Is that cool?
Nice.
That's cool, I guess.
Kind of.
I don't know.
Left hand's back. We're so back. That's about it.
I never used left-handed.
It was a relatively big change, and they made some gameplay changes, but we still have cheaters in the game, and that still sucks.
Oh,
Fix the
that's the
fucking-
one.
fix
They
the problem.
brought back fucking Overwatch, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're doing something about the cheaters. There you go. in
Because
theory.
that'll be the big thing. Like, and
We're doing
Lucy,
something about
Lucy
it,
kind of had a pretty decent comment about it because, like,
Hmm.
I feel like it's going to take many, many years for it. But, like, obviously, with CS2 releasing, there's been so many good games. There's been lots of people getting into CS in
Yeah.
general, like watching it. But then that new player experience, if you improve a little bit and then all of a sudden you get spin botted on in like 10 games
Oh,
or
100%.
whatever, it's like,
I never
fuck,
play
man.
CS on my own. Like, I just
Yeah.
can't be fucked because you just have a shit time, in my
Exactly.
opinion.
Yeah, it needs to be more accessible.
Like,
in that
unless
way.
you're already good and you're playing like in a face at pug with like level 10s who know what they're doing.
Well, you shouldn't need
No,
to use an external
not even that is
service.
fun.
I mean, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
the thing is, like, I just don't, like, I'm shit, but like, I have fun when we're playing like 5-stack or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just cannot, for the life of me, imagine anyone having fun playing solo.
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience for sure.
Like,
yeah.
just no one
Sol-
talks.
solo was more
the
of a
people
thing
who
if
do
you're-
talk just start screaming.
You know, back in like playing like
fucking
ESEA
obscenities.
and shit, you know, you'd play solo queue there because it was kind of forced that you would try and encourage that way, but then you kind of end up knowing like most of the players anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of end up mewing. Sorry, I was going that way. Yeah. but we'll
Fucking
see.
whatever, English, bro. It's what time is it? Like midnight? Who cares?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That shit's hard. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Fix the
I-
cheating problem. 100%.
Yeah, cheaters suck. Also, solo queue in Australia sometimes sucks at the moment because
Always sucks.
it feels like a majority of the good players like are also Chinese, either exchange students or just like people living here that are also Chinese. That all love to speak Mandarin. So if you got 4 people that are all, you know,
In
speaking
a Discord
Mandarin,
together too as well.
Well, no, they're just in game having a domestic in Mandarin, and I don't know what's going on, trying to keep the peace. That's not fun. And I'm like, hey man, it's all right. We're up by like 7 rounds. Can you please stop yelling at our teammates for one issue? And he's like, no, you suck. No, shut up. And I'm just like, okay, man, no worries. Well, I'll just not fucking. Sorry.
Max on a rant.
Time to learn Chinese, buddy.
Schwager.
Schweiger. He knows. He knows what he needs to know.
Sheshe.
Yeah, shisha.
Okay, wait. Bukochi.
That was how we
I
got
think that's
through
your
that
welcome.
whole run of extreme zone. It was literally
Yeah.
shisha and dwe.
Yeah. So
I actually said Schwager in them to try to like calm them down.
all right.
And they did not respond.
Did it work?
They didn't respond. And I was like, man, that's like my one sentence.
That's my one thing.
My one term.
There you go.
Learning Mandarin would be sick.
What about
I'm not gonna lie.
we can touch on ESL Challenger Melbourne quickly. Doesn't have to be a big topic. I think we just wrap it up here pretty much.
Well, what do you
But-
think of the day? I guess like
Yeah, today
it-
was all right.
yeah.
The only thing is like, I mean, KZG, they're the team that gets knocked out. Like, no real surprise.
Expected.
Yeah, expected. It's
Vibes are cool. Vibes were
vibes
less.
are fine. It's a bit chill. You know, it's obviously sad not having FlyQuest and B&K here. I think that's the big thing. I think the big thing is we're missing FlyQuest really. Like they're the big pool, and a Chinese team would have been good to have.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
we've got the Brazil team, so the Brazilian guys are there. I didn't really spend much time looking at the crowd though.
Who did New Happy beat again to get
Lin
here?
Vision.
Because yeah, we fucking like, imagine the lineup that we could have had basically. Like, and New Happy would have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have been
Dude,
fun to see. But fuck.
Spirit got the invite.
Yeah, exactly.
Declined
We
it.
had
They also
fucking Donk
declined
on
the invite
stage,
to
baby.
ESL Pro League. So then, you know, I guess fair enough. But
Yeah,
could have been cool
yeah,
if we had
yeah.
Donk here.
Yeah, no, it would have been really, really cool. I don't know. It's
Aurora's
an interesting
cool.
one
What
in a
are
way.
what are the Aurora boys like? 'Cause
Yeah,
I haven't spoken to them. I try to speak to everyone, but I just know that
Result
like,
does not want to talk to Conky anymore.
No.
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's just like I think when you've got a team who they all say the English is like not so good. Like that's been the really interesting thing for me as a host in the later sort of stages. It's like you try to speak to some of these players and they just stick that one poor guy, and it's like Result's been really, really nice. I've been having great chats with him, but like the last interview was like, "Fuck, man, like me again,"
Yeah.
like sort of thing. It's like I get it, man. I get it,
Yeah.
dude. And
It's
that
techno.
was. Yeah, because I think like for Rebels a little bit, Innocent was kind of getting put up a lot of it as well because he's a veteran, he's been around since like early 1.6 and shit. But Flair got to interview after one of the games, and that was awesome because he was just like super excited to be there. And I think that's the main reason sort of thing. Obviously people go, oh, it's not the same as IEM Sydney, but it's a whole different experience for these players for a lot of the time, right?
this is part of the reason you need to be a bit more of a Giga Chad in that situation,
Just get
rather than
fucking
saying,
you come
"Hey,
here."
who wants to do an interview?"
No.
Say,
That was me in
I
the
want to
first
talk
one.
to you.
Yeah, that was
And-
me in the first one,
Yeah,
but this
okay.
time around, I'm like, no, literally, you come here, please. But it's harder when I don't know how good the English is. That's probably the only problem. But with that said, I fucking had like Mandarin like translations for Wings Up. Like I had Child King do an interview in the first one.
Yeah.
We also had the Brazilians, I think, from it was only Imperial, I think, and we just got them to like
Yep.
speak Mandarin and Portuguese to the crowd. It was sick.
Sweet as.
Whatever you just said can be taken so out of context. I just wanted to throw that out there really quickly, but at the same time, it's been fun. Yeah, the casting's been great. Pick up on what I just said, and you'll probably have a giggle. But at the same time, yeah, me and Jim had a great morning.
What am I supposed to be picking up on there?
Nothing. You can listen to it back, and I was going to say it earlier, but I didn't.
It
so
probably
doesn't-
sounded away in
doesn't
Mac's
make
head.
sense. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, audience took a while to sort of pick up this time, which was a bit of an issue. I
Friday.
wouldn't say it's an issue, but
Friday morning.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we had an audience, so I couldn't like talk to the
It's hard 'cause
audience.
we don't see them.
That's one thing.
backstage.
It's like we lose a bit of space in the audience as well with how we're positioned, and we're so far forward that you guys being at the back as casters is like very disconnected, and it's also like
We used to be
But
where the
it-
analyst desk was.
It still
Yeah,
doesn't matter because casting is so much easier with the new setup. Like we
Oh,
almost
that
have the
sounds
same IEM setup where you both have like each side, each person has their own dedicated
In game.
in-game full thing. You can jump to whoever you want to see. You can also press tab at any point, get all the stats, have HLTV there. Whereas like last year we just had whatever everyone else saw on one big monitor, which was also to the side, and we couldn't stand next to each other. You had to stand
roll
like
the TV in every single
kind
game
of
as well.
No, that was 2 years ago.
Oh,
That-
2 years
last
ago, yeah,
year,
okay.
you had to just like stand behind. Like, I had to stand behind Jordan, and the only way I could tell him I was finished speaking was by like tapping him on the shoulder when I
I
was
remember
talking
that.
to him.
It wasn't a tap, by the way. It was a fucking smack.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
important
was like
to say
a
as
player
well,
on PDG's team.
Look, you just
like-
shouldn't put your ass in my direction, or that's going to happen, man. That's just
It's been a
part of it.
really cool experience for this event, I guess, for us. Like touching on quickly, like it was a pleasure working with the Sweden team, but having everything local.
Oh,
now, there's
yeah,
no
local's
delay,
great. I love
you
it,
know, We're
yeah.
able to. We've got way more creative freedom where we can work with the team.
I haven't listened to it online yet. Does it sound good online?
I haven't
Or
Sounds good
listened
as a
online.
VOD?
Yeah, it sounds good
I
online.
mean,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
watching
Okay.
it, yeah, but-
That was an issue last year, so if that's fixed, that's fucking lit.
Yeah, it's not just that, but I actually think it's really cool that everyone who is talent on this is Aussie. I really rate that.
It's been a pleasure having Lucy,
Luce and Bibi
Vivian
have
as
been
well.
good, and obviously Komodo's getting his crack as well.
yay.
It's cool. It's cool. I think it's cool.
Finally here.
When I look at that talent lineup and it's got all Australian flags, I'm like, oh, finally an Australian event with all Australian talent. Like, we're back. You know? It's like 5 years ago when we were doing ANZ champs.
There was that guy that did that tweet, and he's like, "Yeah, the only reason that there's all Australian talent is because the other guys weren't
I was
available
gonna
on
mention
Pro
that.
League."
Yeah.
And the way that it sounded, I'm like, I know you don't mean it like that, but when I read that, I was like, I don't know if you mean it like that. So
Yeah.
I'll just let it be.
That's what I was gonna say.
Fuck that guy.
All right.
We're good at what we do. All right.
Well, we're 3 minutes off an hour. If anyone's got any topic for the last 3 minutes, or we can just wrap it up here.
Just an hour? We have a limit now?
Well, we don't have a limit, but like, what else is there to talk about? Have you got
I want
something?
to say, like, I want to see Rooster
I'm out of
do
topics.
well, like, very quickly. Like, I think they can, and I hope, like, I chatted to them a little bit after the game. I hope that they take that win, because Rooster has always been kind of, like, teetering on the fact that they could be really fucking good, right? Like, they've always had that potential to be really good. You know, you never know how the emotions are. You never know how serious they're taking. But, like, speaking to them more lately, I do feel like they're taking it more seriously, and they really do want to win.
Yep.
But it's just about getting that level head kind of moving. So like after dumpstering KZG, which was, you know, expected, it needed to happen. Hopefully they take that forward because they've got a pretty tough game against MYBR tomorrow.
Yep.
So that's pretty full on. Again, yeah, obviously I wish we had like either at least like if we had Rooster still, but then a BNK or a FlyQuest, at least that would have upped the Australian sort of pool a little bit. I don't know. I hope Sunday School does something tomorrow as well. That'll be fun to see. It was cool to see them upset on stage too, but it's a very weird weighted talent player pool.
Yeah,
this
it's very
competition.
a lot of one-sided matches, that's for sure.
Yeah.
For me, with Rooster, it's sad because ASAP played amazingly. It feels like he doesn't feel pressure. We had this conversation in the green room about, you know, him.
Dude, he looked
being-
so sad at the end of that.
Of course, but like at the same time, he's like a semi-pro, you know, soccer player, right? Yeah. So he played in front of crowds and stuff, and doesn't really feel has experienced the pressure before, so was able to you know
Right.
excel into those scenarios. But this is their first time in front of a crowd with people screaming your names and stuff. And I just need to shout out like Chell played relatively good, did enough. Danger doing a great job for his first time. TJ going okay, but like Nedic, the man who is their star player online, his numbers are crazy, but you can tell that he was having some kind of like social anxiety. He just was not able to play the game. That or when they played their game, you know, Rebels were just like, this guy is the guy we need to shut down. This is where he is. This is what we need to do to shut him down. And that was their game plan. But we don't know that. We haven't spoken to them in depth enough to figure that out. It just looked like Nedic was absolutely kicking the bucket in that first game today.
Yeah. You go HLTV and you look at like, you know, the page where it's got individual like breakdowns per like ADR and like all the different stats like kills and all that. He's like number 1 and number 2 in nearly all of them with like donk and shit. So it's like he does what's required. locally.
Domestically.
Locally, which is like you got all of these expectations from him, putting him as player to watch and everything, and when you see him fall apart, it is like, oh shit, like what? Yeah,
I'm trying to remember back. He played alright at EPL, didn't he? He didn't have a bad performance.
He probably had good stats, but all I remember, there's one moment I remember from EPL with them where like they were up against whoever it was on Inferno, and Nedic was in pit, and there was no smoke at short or dig or whoever the fuck's watching it. I'm calling it dig. And Nedic just randomly walked out of pit to try to walk to site, not looking at short, just with his knife out to try to get to site. It was probably a micro. Someone like, oh, get here for this reason. He just listened and did it, and then wasn't looking at short. Whoever was short just like looked at him like for a whole 3 seconds, and then was like, oh, shot him, and it was like, the fuck was that? It was the weirdest thing, and that's when the game went south, and then they started losing because they probably all got tilted or something.
Yeah, I think there was an Anubis against 0-0 Nation or something like that as well, where they had like a lead and then they, ultimately threw away the victory chance and stuff like that. So it's like they're on the like precipice of being able to do well. It's like, what do they need to kick them into the next stage?
Yeah, I mean, I guess more experience maybe is the one thing, but this feels like this would be the event that they would be able to do it. If anything, like it wouldn't. It's not going to happen at ESL Pro League.
Well, a bit more confidence. They had a better game. They had the easiest game of their lives against KZG.
Exactly. MIBR are good, but they're not like impossible to beat.
And it's more experience.
Best of 3.
That whole thing though, like tomorrow, maybe getting their nerves out of it with a win like that. It's like, okay, cool. Like we can perform on stage. We just need to focus up.
Maybe.
And they were hyping up the crowd a little bit today. It was a little bit of a quieter crowd, but I guess everyone sort of took Friday for a day. Yeah. Exactly right. So.
I really wish we could have got one of them in here for a quick chat, so we could actually.
Yeah, well, they would have had to have gotten knocked out. I'm not going to fucking disrupt them on.
True.
The
they
night
only
before
have
their
like
biggest game.
less than 24 hours to prep for the
I
next
spoke
game.
for them and they were like, yeah, are you going to do much tonight? And they actually said, no, we're going to take it pretty easy. I was like, fuck yeah, that's nice. Because, again, they give a shit now. It used to be a thing of where
we're going to
they
go out
quite
and party.
very obviously said, we don't really kind of care. We're not going to take it super seriously. Where now that's completely changed the narrative.
Shout out to Chev on the screen. My boy.
All right. That's that, hey?
Yeah.
That's it. Komodo's got to go to his woman.
To his woman?
Yeah, you got to go deal with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Max got to go deal with his girlfriend.
She's
I don't know
I'm
about
chilling.
you, Jordan,
Yeah.
but I had an early call time.
Did you?
You just rocked up in like late
I
afternoon.
didn't know where
fucking
that
sat there,
statement was
chilled,
going.
Like I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
That's where I'm
well,
going.
I mean, you do what you need to do, mate. All right, that's all I'll say. We don't need to know about it, okay?
He learned from half-day con cannon
Yeah.
in his finest. Yeah, that's it.
All right, we might wrap it up there then. How about that? Thanks, guys, for watching.
Oh, wait, I have one more thing.
Yeah?
Bleh tried to act like Dinko didn't have salmonella and was like, oh, I'm gonna try and say my country's fine because he ate this chicken salad and it's a gut biome thing. But everything
not what
he
it
said
was.
on that last podcast, I'm just saying this as an avid listener. If he's vomiting blood, he was about to fucking die, cunt. And that is probably from either old chicken or undercooked chicken or some kind of chicken issue. It's not your fucking lettuce. That is the problem.
No, Mac, because what it is, it could potentially be, this is from a Asia enthusiast, is the water could have washed the lettuce.
Are you just openly coming out as a weeb?
Yes?
Right,
that was
okay.
already a given.
Right, okay.
I've never hid from that.
Anyway.
Fuck that. No, but that's all I sort of could have thought. Like, I've had that before. I had barley belly, I remember, where, we literally got it from the water being washed, the lettuce being washed by the water, so, yeah. But, I would listen to Bleh's opinion over yours, Mac, as a chicken enjoyer, Indian food enjoyer. He goes harder than you, mate. Love you, Bleh.
What I got from that is Bitch says the water can be washed, and Mac hates India, and that's all we got for today. Thanks a lot for watching.
Hey guys, just at the end of this video, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Jean, who is my first supporter on buymeacoffee.com. If you'd also like to support me financially or any of my content, make sure to check out the link. It is in the description box below.